Hey friends, welcome back to Watavue Mountain. As you can see, nope, not at the mountain today, but that's okay. We've been showing a lot of videos from the mountain and hadn't really been making a bunch here from suburbia. We've done some projects that we hadn't shared, so maybe at some point I'll do kind of a wrap up. We've painted a couple rooms. We have to do a little update on the grass because it's looking fantastic. But today, that's not the task at hand. Today, the task at hand is we have what looks like board and batten siding on the house here in suburbia. However, it's not. It's some kind of, I don't know if it's MDF, I don't know if it's plywood, I don't know, whatever it is. We have a spot right over here on the back deck in the wall that's starting to rot out. So what I have to do today is I need to peel that off the wall, figure out what kind of wood, or if that's hardy plank or what that is behind there, and then replace it. So thanks for coming, thanks for joining us. If it's your first time here and you enjoy this video, make sure you hit like, make sure you hit subscribe, hit the bell icon so you know when we post new content. We try to post every couple of weeks just to keep you all informed of what we're doing here in suburbia to improve the home here, as well as what we're doing up on the mountain, up at Watavue Mountain. So sit back, relax, get yourself something to drink, and let's see if we can get busy on this. Alright, so you can see, if you look back to this video where we restained the deck, you'll see where this board meets up with the house. So this is the back railing that goes off to the back on the deck. I think what's happening is water splashing down. We don't have gutters here anymore. I think the water splashing down here and hitting this wall, and as you can see, that shouldn't do that. All right, it's nice and solid over here, but it's nice and mushy right there. Peeled one of the battens off already because I think this is just regular plywood behind here. I'm not sure. Like I said, I'm a nurse, not a carpenter. I'm not a DIY guy. Well, I guess I am a DIY guy now, but I'm a semi-amateur, professional amateur is what I guess it is. So what I'm going to do, this is coming out one way or the other. So I'm just going to take this little guy here, and I'm going to just kind of cut across here and see if we can figure out what we got. I just got to figure out what kind of wood it is. I already know it's going to be a 4x8 sheet of whatever kind of goods it is, and then I'll go get that 4x8 sheet of whatever, and then get some paint, get some more caulking, so we can either replace these or pull these, and I'm going to pull these off too. We're either going to replace those or reuse those, and then we'll go from there. So let's see what we got. Alright, so I got that piece out there. Looks like it might be 1/4 inch. And it looks like it's just pressed wood. I mean, it's not even, doesn't even look like it's, maybe it's plywood. I guess it's regular plywood, and then it's just painted on the outside. So, yeah, so that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna get some plywood. Before I do that, I'm gonna peel off a couple of these. Let's see what we gotta do here. Alright, so I guess before I get too carried away, I need to make sure this is a 4x8 sheet. And you might be saying, well, why don't you just cut it out right here and replace this piece? I don't want to have to deal with a seam right here, a horizontal seam. Even though if I caulk it, in theory it'll be okay. I'm going to have to buy a 4x8 sheet of goods anyhow. So I might as well just stick to the seams that are here that I think are just hidden behind these battens. And then these are sealed with the caulking, so no need to add a horizontal seam. I think it just looked tacky, and it'll potentially create a problem in the future. So let's see if we can pull these off, and maybe without damaging them too much, we might be able to reuse them again. Bingo! There's a seam I was hoping was going to be there. So now we know. There's our seam. So this guy's not getting used again because it's rotting at the bottom. I don't know if you can see that. Yep. So we're gonna need some of that stock material as well. Now the sun's coming out on this. See if we can focus. I don't know if you can focus on that. So I think that's just pressed particle board. The other one I pulled off looked like it was actually wood, but I think this is just pressed particle board. I bet you that other one was too. That's why they're rotting at the bottom. So all right, that's it right there. I found my seams, what I was looking for, right? So I'll get a tape measure and I'll measure this, but I'm 99% sure this is a 4x8. So yeah, it's gonna be tough for me to get this out of here and figure out how to slide it out without tearing up this banister, but I don't want to have to take this banister apart to get this behind there. I think there might be a way, especially since this is so rotten, that I can get that out and then still slide the other stuff, the new stuff, behind there. So let's get after it. Let's see what we can do. Okay, so yep, I confirmed 4x8 sheets, 1/4 inch thick, and the battens are 2 inch by, I guess, 1 inch. They're really like 3/4 and just a little shy of 2 inches. So gonna run to the big blue box store. Fingers crossed that I can match this paint, because I think about a year ago we went through and threw away all the old paint. So I'm gonna take that little chunk that I cut out there, maybe at the end of one of these battens, and see if we can match the paint so that we can do that. So let me run to the store, get all the materials we need. I might call in for some reinforcements on this one, but we'll see. Don't hold your breath. You know how much I like to work alone. So hang tight, get yourself something to drink. I'll be back with the goods in a minute. Alright, so I made it back from the box store, and you know, Murphy's Law says they don't make, this is 2.5 inch MDF. They didn't have it at Big Blue Box Store. I looked at the Big Orange Box Store, they didn't have it. I even called a local small mom and pop place that's been here for, I don't know, 50 years or something, and they said the same thing. They're like, nope, they don't make the 2.5 inch. So here in a little while we'll go and we'll rip some of this down. I bought some 3 inch, we'll rip it down to 2.5 inch, and hopefully I can get these edges nice so that it just blends seamlessly. So in the meantime, what we're gonna do is, I don't know how far over this rot comes. If it's all the way over and I need to replace this entire sheet, this down here looks kind of wet, but that doesn't mean it's rotten. It's still pretty solid. It's just as solid as all the rest of this all the way across. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my 4-foot level here, and I'm just going to cut a line here, and then I'm going to set my my circular saw. All right, so I know this might be overkill. Some people are like, why is he even showing us this? Of course we know this, but some people don't. On the back here there's a scale that that shows you the depth that your blade's going to be at. So you just flip this little guy, and then wherever that little pointer points, that's what you got. So we're going for we're going to go for 1/4 inch. So right about there. See the pointer right there at 1/4 inch. I locked it down right there. I already know this is pretty true to 0, but I'm just trying to not go through. I just want to go through this outer board because there's plywood behind it, and I don't want to go through that plywood as well. So we're going to square this off up to about here, square it back. So, and I'm going to try to stay in these lines again just to see, because I don't think this is rotten. So I might not have to replace that. I might just have to replace this one section because anybody who says lumber prices are back to normal has lost their mind. Lost their mind. I just bought that $32 piece of 1/4 inch 4x8 inch plywood. Nothing special. $32 1/4 inch plywood. Are you kidding me? But you got to do what you got to do, right? This has to get replaced. This, for sure. I can almost put my fingers through it right now. So let's measure this out. Let's get it cut out and see what kind of surprises we got behind there. use that little cutout tool to get down there at the bottom, because that wouldn't go all the way. But I think we're pretty good on point, and I missed most of the nails too, I think. So.
Yo voy a cantar esta canción para mi gente, con una pasión, con una pasión.
All right, well, I think I got most of that out, so let's see what'll happen here if we can start peeling this guy off of here.
Yo sigo cantando y sigo gozando.
So it looks like this piece goes down behind this bottom trim piece and behind the top trim piece, which is probably a good thing, but I think I'm gonna have to just cut that off with this little cutoff tool. And then this doesn't look rotten. I'm just dying to see what the wood behind this looks like, so that we can start to assess from there. I know I can hear all my safety Sallies right now saying, where's my hearing protection? And I can't argue with them. You're 100% right. I should be wearing hearing protection. Yep. So there you can clearly see that board is rotten. Let's take a look behind it and see what that looks like. Alright, so as you can see, right here's where that board just came from. It's a little damp here, but that wood behind it is absolutely solid. There's no give to that at all. So this membrane they had on here is doing its trick. And this board looks like it's in pretty good shape. It's pretty solid here, and the same thing on the other side. I mean, we might have to pull this out and recaulk this. Obviously, I'm going to have to recaulk all these battens when we put them back up. But I think this is going to work out great. Is if I can just run this, however wide this is, 2-foot strip up. I can just replace this section right here. I'll pre-paint this before I put it in, and then yeah, put the battens back on, and Bob's your uncle. So let me know what you think down in the comments. I mean, I'm just making this up as I go. Like I said, my worry was this was rotten behind here. But I mean, this, like I said, it is solid. It does not give at all. This board is not flaky. It's not crumbly. Nothing. It feels great. So this one looks a little wet right here, but it still feels solid. So I think once we get this fixed, everything else is going to take care of itself. But leave me a comment down below. Tell me what I'm jacking up, because I guarantee you I'm messing something up and I'm missing something. So let me get this all cleaned up. Let me get some measurements, and then we'll finish cutting that off all the way up to the roof. Alright, let's see if we can square this up all the way to the top. Line this up. So we got about 16 inches here. If I can keep it about 16 inches all the way up, that'd be great. Then we can just go rip that 4x8 down to about 16 inches. I might cut it a little wider and then slide it in on one side and then go back and cut this. I don't know. We'll see. I'm going to play with a couple different ideas here. In the meantime, we got to get this out either way, so let's do that. Well, all right, there you go, you see it. So we're roughly 16 inches all the way up and down. Measure it again here, but yep, well, yep, 16 there. A little longer than 16 up here. I cleaned these edges off. Did not tear this up too bad. I did a little bit, but we're going to caulk this, and there's going to be a batten over this too. So I think we'll be in good shape. Before I come and clean all this old caulk off, let's head out to the garage. We're gonna bust out the never before used table saw and see if we can rip down that that piece of plywood, or if we're just gonna use the old trusty circular saw. I haven't decided yet, so let's go out in the garage and see what we're gonna do. Well, all right. I know this is not ideal, and this table saw is not meant to cut 4x8 material, sheet goods. But you gotta do what you gotta do sometimes, right? You've heard me say it before, you gotta adapt and overcome. So over here I got a milk crate. It's gonna be my assistant to help hold up this side. Got it set at about 16 and a half inches instead of 16 and a quarter, just to give myself a little extra space back there. So we're not trying to fill all these cracks with caulking. Hopefully we can just use the skill saw. I'm going to cut this, set it up there, draw a line, cut the line, and then hopefully it just slides right into place. So enough of me talking. Let's see how this goes. There you go. It was ugly, but it's done. All right, we're gonna leave this set up because we still gotta trim down that MDF. But let's take this back to the back deck and see how she fits. See how bad I jacked it up. 82 and 7/8 is what we're going with. by a saw blade. That's all right. I didn't want to cut it too short, too long, too short, you know. Alright, it's a little cattywampus. This isn't level down at the bottom, or I might have trimmed a little extra out somewhere, so gotta cut this at just a titch of an angle, but I think it'll be all right after this. Let's see. Boomski. There we go. That's all we needed. Alright. That's good. So now I'm going to go paint probably this bottom half. So from about there down. So when I put it in, it's already painted. And then once I get the these battens cut, I'll put them up first, and then I'll paint them. So I can put them up, caulk them, and then paint them all at the same time. So let's go get the paint, and then we'll just I guess we'll paint that bottom half right here, right now. This is looking pretty good. I'm gonna cheat a little. I'm just gonna pour some of this out and paint it. Guess we're painting the whole thing. Well, that's done. So now on to the other stuff. God almighty, just ripped my pants. Alright, so now we're going to do some cleanup. We still have this old caulking on here. A couple of spots like this where these old nails are sticking out. So I guess we'll cue some music and let's get to cleaning this up. to say, this little plastic thing worked pretty good. I just bought it, part of a set with a little thing to help do the caulking for a video that we never made because we painted a room and I didn't set up the camera. So, but this little plastic thing works good. I had my doubts because it's plastic, but it held its own. So, I guess back to the garage. Let's cut us some battens. All right, so I don't know what all you saw right there, and I don't know what's up with these stinking Artman batteries, other than the fact that they're a quarter of the price of Canon batteries. But gosh, give me some kind of warning, blink, do something. Anyhow, all 4 of these boards are cut. Here's one of the ones I took down. You can see I got a little extra space, so I'm gonna figure out what this angle is here. I'm thinking it's gonna be a 45. We'll see. And then we'll cut these bad boys down to size, and I'm either gonna use the chop saw or the miter saw, or I might just set it up on here. We'll see if I got some help by then or not. So let me go do some measurements. I'll bring the paint back out here. We can go ahead and paint these bad boys now, so that hopefully tomorrow we can just get this whole thing nailed down and finished up. So let's do that. Okay, so I got one piece of wood here that the end's not too banged up to get this angle. I could just measure it and do all that, but why do all that? You know, I try to work smarter, not harder. So I make sure this is nice and flush here, and then I'm just going to kind of eyeball this to where I think it is. Let's bring it to 30 degrees, and then I'm just going to keep working this piece of wood back and forth. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to lock this down so I don't have to keep holding that. So 30 looks pretty close. I don't know if you can see that. Let's see if we can close that gap up just a titch. Open, close, there we go. Right. So right there. So all I did was I kept rocking it back and forth until both sides were touching. So this side and this side. And I'm pretty impressed with that right there. And now we'll lift this up, unlock that, lift it up. We're at 31 to 33 degrees. So I never would have guessed that, and it would have taken me forever to do the math. This way's much easier. So let's cut these angles, and then we can get to painting. Alright, now I'm going to measure out 82 inches, no, 83 inches, and then we'll cut these off and then get it painted. Alright, everybody's cut. We're ready to paint. I'm trying to figure out a way to be more efficient all the way around with this painting stuff, because we bought a spray gun, the airless spray gun. You just plug it in and go, which is great. You waste a ton of paint though, and you got to do a ton of prep work. Rollers, paint brushes, I can't cut in a corner to save my life. Not that I have to do it here, but I just can't. So I'm just experimenting. I got these, all 4 of these boards right up next to each other. I'm gonna just see if I can just, I don't know, roll them out real quick, hit the tops, hit the sides. I don't know. I don't know the best way. Again, open for suggestions, because like I said with everything, we're literally making this up as we go. So I'm going to stand these on their sides. Sandwich them together. Not sandwich, but... And then I'm just going to put a dollop of paint here, and then I'm going to hit it with the roller. Or maybe I'll just do it with a paintbrush. See, I don't know. I'm trying to figure out. Obviously that's not going in there. But if I can do that. Alright, here we go. Now we're thinking. Let's try this. Right? Do this. And do this. Alright, is that lazy? Are you sitting there looking at me? Are you judging me? You judging me? Go ahead. Judge away. Judge away. That's fine. But I'm going for not production speed. I'm not trying to clean up. Make a mess, clean up, make a mess, clean up. It's just painful. I'm just trying to make a mess once and clean up once. So. And I might be completely hosed because I didn't prime these ends of this MDF. That could be a bad no-no too. So we might be doing this again in 6 months, who knows? I sure hope not, but I didn't research this at all. I know it's a shocker because I researched the hay bale out of everything, but this, I was like, no, tearing that stuff off, putting new stuff on. It just is what it is. We're doing it. And we did. And here we are. Well, everything's painted, and I just decided while I was painting this, I guess I forgot, I'll do a second coat because I didn't plan on painting this out here. I was going to put it up, then paint it after we caulked because I bought paintable caulk. So, but I think it's better. I don't really trust this MDF being outside. I know it's okay, and there's other MDF that's been out there for 11 years that's still okay. I'm not a big fan of it. So that's what we'll do. All right, well, good morning, friends. New day, same project. As you can see, we're just about finishing this up here. Bright and early here, had me some coffee this morning. Actually, I've been out here for about 20 minutes because it's so humid. The lens just keeps fogging up. It's ridiculous. So I might have to stop every once in a while. If it gets foggy, I apologize in advance. I keep trying to get it there, but this humidity is ridiculous today. So we painted this yesterday, first coat of paint on the battens that we're going to put back up. So first things first, this morning I got some silicone. I'm going to put a bead along the edge here on both sides, top and the bottom, just to help hold this in place until I can get some screws in it. So I went and I got some indoor-outdoor paintable silicone. So whatever brand, I don't know, whatever you have, wherever you are, but paintable silicone is what I'm going with, so that I can get it to match the old battens that you can't hardly see. I guess right there you can see they got that just painted over. So neat thing, I don't know, it's something stupid but simple, right? That's got a little hole, it's got a little cutter, so you can cut your end of your caulking. And then these have little markings. I can't even read them, but somebody with great eyes could probably read them. But they got the lines like quarter, eighth, whatever on there. So just stick the end in there. I'm going to go small because I'm terrible at caulking. So I'm going to go small so that I have room for air. I'd rather work a little harder trying to get it out And then last but not least, we got our little hole puncher. So you just jab that down in there. So if you don't have a caulk gun already and you're out and about looking for one, try to find one with those cool little accessories on it, because it just makes life a little easier. I don't have to use a knife. I don't have to go finding a nail and doing all this other stuff. So enough of me jabbering. Let's put some caulk up here, get this board up there. Alright, I'm just getting that corner in place, bottom right corner in place, just so we can hold it up, and then I'm going to square up this up top, and then we'll work our way down. Just make sure everything's going to fit where it's supposed to. That looks good. Alright, there we go. Easy breezy. I don't know if that caulking did anything. It's going to do anything to help waterproof. It was more just for a suction for my purposes to help hold this in place while I got it set. If it does provide a little bit of waterproofing, great. But I think once we get the battens on here, and we caulk the outside of those, we're pretty much set as far as waterproofing goes. So, battens next. Let me go grab the battens, let me grab the air compressor, and we'll see what we can do here. Okay, so we cut all our battens, and as you can see here, right, we trimmed down this MDF. We're definitely doing a second coat of paint on this, okay? That MDF just soaked that first coat of paint right in. This side looks good, it was primed, so maybe I should have primed it first, but now we know. But there it is. We'll put a second coat on it. All right, so now with this, I have the level. So I pre-cut these at 83 inches, which is what looked right. And they're just a smidge tight. So here's where the tricky part comes in, right? I want them to be level. However, I want them to be kind of equidistant on each side here, so that the caulking covers up where I peeled the old caulking off. So I'm going to try to split the difference here. Well, I'm not going to have to. That's pretty straight right there. It looks good. It's tight at the bottom. I have just a smidgen, maybe a 32nd of a gap at the top. It's lined up left to right pretty well. So I think I'm just going to nail it right there. And we're using 1¼ inch brad nails. So just straight in, I'll be able to fill those in with a little bit of silicone. We'll put a second coat over it, and there you go. So that'll be it. So we're going to do that. Let me get these other 3 installed, and then we'll come back and we'll do some caulking. So here's what I'm talking about. You can see, moved you over so you can see this gap. Of course, you're not going to see it on this side because that's the board we replaced. But a little gap here. We're still straight up and down. We use the level to check, and then we'll just nail that bad boy in place after I check one more time. Because, yep, still straight, still level. There we go. All right. So as you can see, this piece is just a hair too long. I got a nail right here. But it's still sticking out. I probably got a 1/4 inch gap right there. So in theory, with this MDF, I can just shave a little bit off the bottom of this. We'll see, it might be too tight for me to shave too much, but I'm going to try anyhow, because I'm going to caulk this, so it doesn't really matter what it looks like right there. All that matters is I get it cut. I might need a little better knife than this guy, but there we go. Now we're just going to nail that down at the bottom a little better. Tore that knife up too, but that's okay. And then we'll caulk that in real nice and tight. There you go. Easy breezy. Alright, surprise, surprise. Caulking's one of those things that I'm not good at. You've probably heard me say that 1,000 times. But that's why we cut the tip small, so that I don't get as much coming out. And then I also have this handy dandy little guy to help me make it nice and smooth. So it's got a little rounded edge there, so I can just kind of come right along here. Zoop. We'll see how that works. Sean used it when we painted in there. She made it look fantastic. So to those people that can do this and make it look fantastic, my hat's off to you. This is probably gonna not look fantastic, but I'm gonna try it anyhow, because why not? Alright, so not terrible. Not great. Good thing is it's paintable caulk, so I'll be able to paint over it once we go back and fix it up. Alright, so again, I don't know what it is. Me, every time I film, it seems like the humidity is 67%, but we're 67% today. So I waited about an hour from the time I did this first bead on this first board. So that's pretty dry. Those ones back there are kind of sticky still. What I'm hoping is by the time I get from here to there, they'll be dry like these ones are. So let's throw some paint on this and see how it looks. Well, there you have it, friends. I think we beat the rain. Hopefully it'll hold off. Doesn't wash away all this paint, but we'll see. And as you can see, it blended pretty nice. I was kind of scared because this is about 11 years old. And as you can see, this is textured. The new board is not textured. But this is just 1/4-inch plywood is all it is. But it's been here for 10, 11 years, whatever it's been. So it's all aging at the same rate. So I'm hoping that after about 6 months or so, this will kind of fade a little and blend better. But I think it does okay right now. I think it looks fine. I mean, clearly you can see this one right here is the new one, but looks pretty good. I might have to get some trim paint. We'll see kind of how this caulking does. There's a couple spots that I went over onto the trim. Again, not a huge deal. I don't think it'll be noticeable here in 6 months or so. So that's it. Just a quick little project. Yeah, it took 2 days just because I had to figure out what this actually was. Had to run to the big box store and get the materials and then cut it out around that little piece. So next step might be putting gutters back. We'll see, to help keep from having this happen again. But we'll see. I don't know. Anyhow, absolutely blessed that we're able to do this. I'm able to figure this out. Hopefully this will work. Maybe it's not a blessing, but either way, we're blessed that I have the time to do this. We have the resources. We have YouTube that I can go and look and say, all right, what do I need to do here? So absolutely blessed. So as always, thanks for checking us out. Thanks for hanging out. Hit like, hit subscribe, hit the little bell icon. We'll throw a video up over here so you can keep hanging with us. It's been a while since we've done a project here in Suburbia, so it's good to get something checked off the list. So yeah, thanks for hanging. And as always, be safe. We'll see you next time.